think that, a lot of young people have died, and it's time for the war to stop, and it can only stop if there's a ceasefire and some kind of dialogue. You're warmly welcome to Ghana. This is our first credential ceremony, and you're the first ambassador I'm receiving. And so I think that that's a good sign on the relation between Ghana and Italy. Our relations have been historical, and Ghanaians have a very high regard for our cooperation with Italy. From our first republic, when we were children learning about the Akosombo Dam, we heard about Impregilo, the Italian engineering company that built the dam. And in later years, when our second dam was built, the Pong Dam, we heard about Sadelmi and all of them. And so we're all quite familiar with Italian engineering and technology. And we think that it's an area where we can continue to exchange knowledge and technical know-how. I'm particularly happy about the initiative in agriculture, because that is one of the main focuses of this administration. We think that one of the first things any responsible government must do must be able to provide food security for its people. We've had inflation go up to 54%. It is now dropping gradually at 22%, and we're hoping that it will come down further. But one of the main drivers of our inflation has been supply of food inflation. And so if we're able to expand on production, not only producing the food, but also processing and marketing, we need to look at the whole value chain. And that's why this initiative you're talking about is very important, because if we can get the technology and partner Italy and Ghana to produce food from the farm right to processing to the market, I think that is the focus our government is aiming at. And so any such collaboration will be in the right direction. And I'll be very happy to meet the chief executive when he visits Ghana.
Thank you, sir.
In addition, we have launched yesterday in the budget, the minister mentioned the Ghana Labor Export Program. And that is going to set up centers of excellence in raising the skill of Ghanaian youth to international standards so that they can work anywhere in the world. And based on agreements we'll sign with different governments, we can send electricians, welders, engineers, civil engineers, masons, carpenters, people with a very high skill. We can send them out to go and work on fixed contracts and come back. We discussed it with them. IMO, when I was in Munich at the Munich Security Conference, we met the international IOM, International Office for Migration. Yeah, and they are bringing some technical expertise to work with us in setting up that program. We want to stop young people, unskilled, trying to cross the Sahara, the Mediterranean, to try and reach Europe. If they know there's a legal way in which they can go, have skills, go and work and be able to earn some money, come and invest back at home, I think that it will be a better means of doing that than what is happening currently. With regards to healthcare, would like to see what the cooperation is. We do have a problem with our hospital facilities. The previous government started a huge project in healthcare, building more than 100 hospitals, and somehow we're stuck because they spent a lot of money and not been able to operationalize any of them. And so we're looking to see if we can have some cooperation with the private sector or any entrepreneurs that are into hospital management to finish those hospitals and manage them over a period of time in collaboration with the Ghana Health Service. And so that's an area that is open to discussion. I met the chairman of ENI. He was here. We had very good discussions. There were some issues that they had during the previous administration. Happily, we've been able to resolve them. And so he indicated that they were willing to go ahead with their investment in Ghana. We have had a good partnership with them, and currently almost 60% of our total gas supply for power generation is coming from ENI, and they have the possibility of ramping that up with the other compartments that we gave them. So we're in a good place, and we appreciate the cooperation that we're having with them in that regard. There are more prospects for partnership between our GMPC and ENI and any other organizations that are interested in the upstream oil and gas industry. And so we'll work together on that. We're happy to note the call for a ceasefire by President Zelensky, 30-day ceasefire. We hope that that will open the way for some kind of dialogue to continue to start, to see if the issue of Russia and Ukraine can be resolved. We think that, a lot of young people have died, and it's time for the war to stop, and it can only stop if there's a ceasefire and some kind of dialogue begins. And so that's our position when it comes to that. We have our own problems in our sub-region with the fight against terrorism. 3 of our neighbors in the Sahelian region are facing a very difficult struggle with terrorists, and we need to see how we can support them, because it's not their battle alone. Terrorism anywhere in the world is terrorism against all of us, against the whole world, not just the countries in which these terrorists are. And so would work with them to see how we can support them, because we are neighbors, we're in the same sub-region, and so we have a duty to be able to assist them, and also to try and see how we can build a good working relationship between the AES, which has become a reality, and our sub-regional body, the Economic Community of West African States. And so I think that Italy, our bilateral relations are good, and we want to move them to the next level. We have our Association of Ghana Industries, and we have entrepreneurs who are interested in going into agribusiness. And we know that when it comes to agribusiness and agro-processing, Italy has a comparative advantage, especially in small machinery and all that. And so that's another area. While you are here as ambassador, I'm hoping that we can open it up again. We used to have a facility like that with Italy, where Italian equipment, construction equipment, agro-processing equipment were supplied directly to private companies to set up, small businesses. And so it came to an end, but it's something that we can look at again while you're here.
When we can check whether it's possible to activate it again. I know that a technical mission came here in the past weeks to assess the previous, let's say, exercise, and to check whether there is the possibility in the future to repeat it. And coming back to Ukraine that you mentioned, also our Prime Minister expressed, she welcomed the announcement of President Zelensky, and we are all waiting for the next move of the other, let's say, actor in this war. And concerning Sahel, also for Italy, for the reasons that we can imagine, is a priority. And we try to have a very pragmatical approach and not ideological. So while we hope that the constitutional legality will be restored, we want to continue to dialogue on practical issues like development cooperation, training, assistance. We have our cooperation office is in Ouagadougou, and we have not closed it. It remains there. And we have also a military mission in Niger. It's a training mission, actually, and it's been requested by the government of Niger, and is still there. So we try to give our, let's say, support to the, let's say, stabilization of the region, so we can work together on it. Thank you.
Thank you.